Welcome to the Apple Mouth Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Apple Mouth Podcast.
Ooh.
We've got Cher here again for another guest appearance. I'm Blake, and
I'm Belle.
And I'm Cher.
We're gonna talk about Joji being canceled, among other things. But yeah,
Blake recently showed Cher some Filthy Frank videos without any context, and Cher said that guy looks familiar.
I said that guy looks like Joji, and y'all just
just flip the table over here.
basically you guys just put me in the middle of the ocean right there.
What'd you think though? Oh, sorry.
For those who don't know, Filthy Frank was a YouTuber who said some out-of-pocket shit a lot of the time. And then he became a musician known as Joji, who got really well known with the 88 Rising label, along with Rich Brian. And now he's much more into like sad boy music instead of edgy humor, so...
Yeah. I'm the boomer who doesn't know that Joji was Filthy Frank. I'd never seen a single Filthy Frank video in my life before you guys showed me.
What'd you think though?
Oh,
when you found out that he was Filthy Frank?
Honestly, it's just like he reminds me of one of those people in high school that I stay away from. It's just because
Good reason.
We had these groups in high school. You have your own. You have a spot where the band geeks hang out, the spot where the jocks hang out, and we have our own spot where
super segregated.
The weebs and the gamers hang out.
Yeah.
But in our spot was big. I was among that spot with the weebs and the gamers, but it was a big spot. So even that spot was segregated to the normal weebs, and the
hentai weebs.
The hentai weebs, the gamer weebs, the cosplay weebs. It was just kind of like we were segregated. All my friends had friends who were in other groups, but like they were the kind of friends that I wouldn't mind introducing to someone at the party or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
But those other weeaboos who cosplayed every Friday and made the Attack on Titan pose.
Oh my god.
And then it was just,
What a
I stay
time.
away from them. I didn't want to be associated with them. Filthy
Right.
Frank was that dude that I stayed away from.
We had a kid in our high school where every time we do anything PE related or we had to do laps, he would always just Naruto run.
No, yes.
And
oh my god.
even if he wasn't in PE time, he would like... He I think he lived in like a delusional kind of, I am the main character of an anime.
Yeah.
But like he was good in school, he did it, he was reliable,
Right.
So he wasn't like someone you want to stay away from, but every now and then he'll just be like, if he felt like he was threatened by something, he would just Naruto run out of a situation.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, even now, as like at our age, sometimes I feel like I could just do that. I should just do it.
And Filipino schools, like Filipino people, like we're easy to give people nicknames. So like, I just knew that dude in Naruto. Like I didn't know it was his actual name.
Yeah.
Like si Naruto, kita mo. Tumakbo. You just see him running. It's hella funny.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. I was shocked. It took a while to I still haven't processed it.
Yeah.
I still have to like think that this guy is also this guy, because I thought he was just some edgy emo boy, who sang
Right.
his music. I like his music. His music's really good, and the kind of videos, as Filthy Frank, the kind of videos that he posts are not the kind of videos I want. I usually don't watch vulgar.
Yeah, you're a pretty
things.
wholesome and like pure individual.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I usually don't like people who cuss on. The kind of people that say fuck
Like
on
way too much.
every other
Yeah.
word.
That's
I just like, can't you find?
you just
there's
want to
so
chuck
many-
a dictionary at them.
Basically, there's so many
Rhesaurus.
words. There's so many vulgar words in the English dictionary, and you just can't stop saying fuck. And it's just, I don't like it. But this is Joji.
Right.
I respect him as an artist. I'm just, I gotta take this all in. If I'm gonna respect him as an artist, I gotta respect for who he is.
Yeah.
But it's not like I hate him for that or something.
Right.
Just because I see what he was like in the past
Yeah.
doesn't change the way I think about him.
Right.
Right.
Because just like with Rich Brian too, when he was known as Rich Chigga and all the tweets he used to make as a younger dude, like that's you can't hold that against them because like they're growing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people just forget that Brian started making music when he was like 11, 12, 13 years old. And like obviously if elementary schoolers here in the US are just as vulgar, did you really
they're worse.
Yeah, they're worse. Did you really expect some 12-year-old from Indonesia to be just as bad? Like, dude, it's so dumb. I'm like, and then till this day, this dude is still defending himself on that one N-word in that one song he made when he was 14 years old.
Yeah.
That other rappers don't even like bring up. They're just they hear that song and they're like, oh well, it slaps.
Yeah, they're just like it slaps. And then when they find out he's 14, they're even more inclined to like that song because of his age.
Yeah, and he explained it too. Why he said that, he apologized.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's just that people will find people on the internet, people on Twitter. They will find anything to just bash on. I know because I come from K-pop Twitter and anime Twitter for that matter.
Oh yep.
Yeah, there's just so many. They find any reason. There's so many fan wars going on, even when it has nothing to do with them. They will argue with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when the subject's not even K-pop, they will say my idols are better than yours. It just happens.
I'm just glad I wasn't part of that. Because I feel like if as strongly as I feel about Tiffany, I feel like if someone were to just call her ugly, the gloves would just come off. And I'm kind of glad.
So you are the problem then.
Well, no, hey,
you're part of the problem.
Before you point fingers at me, sir, I was never on Twitter up until like a month ago.
That's true.
So you could have easily been one of those people.
Yeah,
then.
I could honestly as like. No, like no, dude. Like 13, 14-year-old me, if you gave me a freaking iPhone and like I see that comment just like here, dude, iPhone in hand, someone called Tiffany ugly, I would have just heavy breathing in front of my laptop. Take my inhaler. This will not go down today.
But trust me, if you stay where you are now in K-pop Twitter, you won't get there. It's alright.
Yeah. Well, I feel like wait. What do you mean by that?
You won't meet fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, if I were to ever probably look at it, I'll probably just to spite every single person, just like all the comments.
No, what you usually do, what people like to do who don't like to fight, they just drop a fan cam. They say Tiffany is ugly. Just drop a Tiffany fan cam. Don't even say anything. Don't even say. Just drop it there. Just spread the love.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. K-pop stances are like a completely different breed of people.
Everyone's cute, but I feel like these Joji and Rich Brian, they shouldn't be shamed for what they did in the past, because let's face it, we all did something shitty.
Yeah,
we all did something that we regret and we hide it. But at least this guy doesn't hide it. You know, I mean, it's already out there.
Yeah,
he's pretty open.
It's the internet. The first thing about the internet is that everything's gonna be up there for forever.
Right, and we're kind of fortunate that like
unless the communists take it down. But
right, the CCP. Or Bill Gates for that too. No, but like
that guy's still alive, hold up.
Yeah.
Not for long, hopefully.
Yeah.
Not a death threat. Not a death threat.
You're right.
I don't know what goes on.
Don't get us canceled before we have our first episode.
I love the Communist Chinese Party. What are you talking about?
No comment.
No comment.
But
I mean, like, at least with Frank though, like even if you go to his about page, it literally says Filthy Frank is a character that's supposed to epitomize what you should not be. Like,
this is, if you're a human, if you have any of these characters, you should not be this character.
Yeah.
Or, like, you should not have any of these traits. We're kind of lucky in a sense that we're so under the radar of internet, like, internet-wise, that, like, we don't have that big of a following. Like, we don't have 1 million people following us. And, like, it's easier for them to dig up more dirt on Rich Brian and Joji. And
Yeah.
honestly, with fans like this, I wouldn't even be surprised if they find something on Nicki. Like, as wholesome as she is, like, that just like that one wrong tweet, like she could be canceled too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just haters everywhere.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand that. It's kind of like they're not. Well, like, I guess like coming from someone in my mid-20s.
Sure.
It's kind of like, I don't understand how you could hate someone you've never met. Or like, I mean, I guess comments and stuff like get misconstrued, but wouldn't it be like your first instinct as like a human with curiosity that like, why did this person post that? And then like kind of like research it before you freaking say something.
Here's the thing though, they're not actually offended by anything they're saying. They look good by calling it out.
Oh,
It's like it's the virtue signaling thing.
Virtue signaling, yeah.
If I can point out this person's being racist, whatever, misogynistic, or you know,
whatever,
then that immediately puts me as like, oh, I'm calling out. Therefore, I'm above that.
Right.
And you know, everyone should shame them. And everyone should like me.
Right.
Fucking degenerate snitches.
I wouldn't have said it any other way.
That's how someone who sees themselves as perfect, that's how they would act, you know?
Right.
Is by calling other people out. If you can accept the fact that you had your own sins and shortcomings in the past, you're less likely to try to call someone out because you're like, yeah, I've been there, or you know, like he was just being dumb and I've been dumb, so I get it, you know.
Yeah.
And even then, like some of the stuff they said wasn't even that bad.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, freaking retards.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
From the BlackBerry.
From a BlackBerry. And honestly, as I would never say that word, but like, that's also coming from like, just someone. I don't know. I don't know. Like, if it's, you know, like the Michael Scott where he was like, you don't call your friends retards. You call them retarded when they're acting stupid.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
The thing is, before that, like, retard was a medical term, as well as idiot was a medical term, as well as mongoloid was a medical term. Even now, like when I was like learning Filipino in Cavite, where I went to high school, I would just I'd pick up on words that they use, and they use mongoloid as like,
what is
idiot,
that?
like retarded.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Oh, mongoloid siya, like he's dumb.
Yeah, and retard means slow too.
Yeah, that literally means, it's even in French, like retard is to slow down.
Right.
You wear fire retardant clothing for when you
to slow down fire from getting to you.
Yeah, so it's I think it's people that think that words are static and that words don't change, and that they grew up as, oh, retard is it's forever going to be a word meant to belittle someone.
Right.
And honestly, if you get called a retard, you could come to that conclusion pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
If you get called a retard, obviously you're not going to like that word.
Right.
But, you know, ideally, a mature person would be able to, like, be called a retard, understand why, and then understand that that's just a, like, colloquial, cultural thing amongst people your age.
Yeah, and I bet, too, like, if you go out of the country like France, where the word retard is actually slow, then you could easily get offended in another country too, because it's like
exactly like those people like those K-pop fans that were sorry, not to rag on K-pop fans, but like but like those do you hear about the story of this one boy group that came to the Negros Occidental Islands in the Philippines, and on their post they said "Hello Negros," and they post a picture of themselves because they're touring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So you already know, right?
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Of course, like virtue signaling Twitter keyboard warriors are gonna see that, not know that Negros is a part of the Philippines.
Right.
And they're gonna think, oh, they're saying hello Negroes, trying to be funny.
Right.
Which, like, even if that's your argument, that doesn't make much sense with the context. Like, how would you post a picture and you're trying to be funny about, like,
yeah, and you're waving.
hello Negroes? Like, imagine if that's your actual intention, to say hello Negroes, and then you're posting a picture of, like, welcoming smiles, like waving, like you said, like, they're just like they're not in reality at that point when they're like saying that that's their argument.
And also, you can also look at it from a perspective of like, the word Negroes does mean black.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe they're welcoming like a specific ethnicity, you know? Or like, just...
That's what people would think.
Yeah.
Right?
Or yeah, just like, from maybe like a person from another country or something like that. That like, it doesn't always apply to American standards. And since people have just these freaking blinders that like...
Everything's about them, right?
Yeah, everything's about them. And it... Yeah.
I mean, Ari Shaffir, this comedian that we watched, has a bit about saying the N-word, like yelling the N-word when he used to live in...
Like the full word.
Yeah, the full word. Like hard R.
Oh, okay.
Yelling it out. But he was living in Israel at the time. So it means nothing over there.
Yeah.
You could literally yell it out to somebody, calling someone that, like, hey, you, and then say that word.
Yeah.
And no one thinks about anything. Like, it's like, oh, that's like an American word, I guess. But, like, no one cares. And... It's all about the intention, right? That's what you always hear.
Right.
When you're yelling it out to a friend in Israel, you're just trying to be funny.
Right.
And you're using a word that would typically be taboo.
Yeah.
But it's not there, so the intention is like, hey, I'm being funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and like if you take a video of that, take it out of context, that's...
See, but you could use a word like, let's say, cat lover, right?
Yeah.
If your intention is to hurt someone, it's gonna be offensive. Like, you fucking cat lover.
Right.
Right? It feels bad. You know? Because the intention is bad.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Fucking cat lover.
Hey! Dude, that actually hurt.
Right?
Content, I say that while looking at Maribel's face.
I love my cat.
I know.
Don't point.
We all do.
Right
We all
there.
do.
I know, we all love my cat. She's so cool. She's the raddest cat around. She's the kitty's titties.
But
yeah, it's... Honestly, I feel like Joji and Brian's situations are pretty justified. Because, like, obviously when Joji switched over to... Or when Filthy Frank switched over to Joji...
Yes.
He never spoke about Filthy Frank.
Even in interviews, like... Sometimes people would bring it up, just straight up, like, hey, make a comment about your internet history, or as an internet personality, I mean. And he'd be like, yeah, that's something that I'm just trying to distance from.
Yeah. Like, it's not, like...
It's a branding thing, you know?
Yeah. And, honestly, you even said it in the car that, like, Filthy Frank's lyrics are horrible.
Yeah.
But the beat slaps.
Yeah. So the art is still there. The art will like supersede the the negative stuff.
Yeah, kind of like Brian when he was like, oh, like even his train of thought when he was like, oh, I figured that if I just say the N-word with the A, then like everyone would just overlook it because like the song's so great. And that's exactly what rappers did. Yeah. But like people who aren't in like the hip hop like rap industry, they're just bashing on like a fucking 14-year-old dude. Like, that's just cyberbullying.
How dare he not be perfect right out the womb?
Right. This dude that freaking only learned English
through rap songs.
Yeah, through rap songs and freaking Rubik's Cube tutorials.
Wu-Tang Clan, dude. Imagine trying to learn English through Wu-Tang Clan lyrics.
Right.
Like they're literally rapping about like running trains on girls and shit.
Right.
Like that's your normal.
Yeah.
The internet's a scary place.
Where's all the outrage? Yeah. Where's all the outrage for the gangster rappers that were talking about killing people all the time?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because it has something to do with that he's Asian.
I
don't know.
Oh, maybe the fact that he's getting more numbers than their K-pop groups that they like.
He hasn't gotten canceled yet, but they have.
They got canceled by competence.
Yeah.
Or incompetence.
All those years of just training.
But it's not something you should compare about. Like
yeah, of course not.
K-pop idols, you don't compare it to
of course not.
A guy who's doing his like music in America.
Right.
It's two completely different things.
Yeah, it's not even that though. That's kind of like, I feel like it's just the same thing as comparing Brian to Joji. It's not the same thing.
They're like different things.
And even like even Brian and Nikki, like, yeah, they're both Indonesian, but like Nikki's doing her own type of music, and like Brian's doing his own type of music, right? And like it's just
Not kidding.
No, I can't see them. I feel like they're just siblings. Brian and Nikki. Don't put that image in my head.
I mean,
Whatever you're gonna say,
Just cut it off.
Lock it in a closet and toss it out.
We will cancel you. I know your Instagram handle. I know your Twitter handle. Do not at me, bro.
She's got Twitter.
She's got
you're
Twitter.
gonna start breathing real heavy over the keyboard.
I just refilled my inhaler prescription a couple months ago too. Come at me. What'd you think of the Filthy Frank music videos though? Has he taught you Japanese yet?
That's not something I would ever say in Japan.
No.
It could be something. I mean, if I'm asking for directions or something, I could say like "Echi wa doko desu ka?" It's like, where's the echi?
Yeah.
Just points at a little like hut in the middle of nowhere.
That's when
They
you
bring
go
it to a host club.
when you go to an adult store and you're looking for the rated R section, you know, I've been tempted to ask that question, but it's so embarrassing because look at me.
Better yet, just do it like super broken. Like, don't try to sound good. Just be like, "Echi wa doko."
Echi wa doko desu ka?
Or alternatively, be super cute about like, "Echi wa dosu desu ka?" Or whatever.
I'm gonna get canceled. They're gonna kick me out.
This is kicking out of the country.
No, if anything, they'll just like hire you right there. Like, do you want to keep saying that in front of a camera?
No.
Can we record you?
That was you said they were gonna kick me out of the country. That was close because I felt like that was gonna happen when I went through airport security in Japan, and they saw my driver's license because in my driver's license I had long hair and no glasses and I was tan as fuck, and they were like, "Where's your actual passport?" And I was like, "That's my passport." And they were like, and they brought 3 guys over to look up my passport, and I was so scared, and I was just like, "Let me in your country, please."
See, that's what happens when
hentai.
That's what happens when everyone looks the same in the country.
Let me be in your country, please. I want to buy hentai. That's the greatest
I want to buy
line.
hentai.
I want to go to the maid cafes.
Dude,
Ooh,
I'm sure is it cheap there?
Oh, depends on where you are, but you know, it's about. Shout out to that German maid that served me one time. Your English was very good. Thank you.
Served you how?
Like a proper maid should.
It's confidential.
No. Echichiose.
Let's fool around a little bit.
I mean, I did ask where the bathroom was, and she kind of followed me.
Oh.
But
Did you leave the door open?
No, it turns out she was just trying to show me how to lock the door.
Oh, yep.
But I had other expectations.
From the inside? Okay.
Excuse me?
Wait, how hard was the lock though? If she like
It was kind of broken, so I had to push it more.
Oh, gotcha. So you needed that extra 2 arm strength to like push it in.
Yes.
What are we talking about again?
Yeah. The German maid that served her.
Or was she Russian? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Might have been Russian.
Honestly,
it's interesting. It's interesting to see how like there's some shows I've watched where there are Russian characters, and then I never really thought about what is like the international relationship between like Russian people and Japanese people, because I know that like Japanese stuff is really popular in Russia, and as an American, like you don't really hear about how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
Where's Russia?
But they're right there, you know. They're like walking.
Russia and Europe?
Just like a boat right
like,
away.
Basically, it's like Russia, then China, then Japan.
Wait, Russia's in Europe?
So half of
I'm bad
it's
at
like
geography.
it's like.
Bro, I almost thought of geology.
It's like Eurasia, like Europe and Asia is like it's like the weird in between.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why they say like Eurasia is like a lot of like the Turkish and Russian countries. Excuse me, and then like East Asia is like Chinese, Tibet.
I see. Well,
or China, Tibet.
I feel like Japanese
Korea.
people like Europe, like Europeans. They love them
Now.
now.
The original Japanese inhabitants were like European looking people. Like they had like full beards, and they actually look kind of Turkic, so kind of like that Eurasian facial features and stuff.
Oh.
Right.
And they were the Aboriginal, inhabitants of the Japanese islands, and then that Yamato blood that came in just like took over.
Oh.
Or intermingled with them too. So like kind of like through breeding they kind of like outbred them or something.
Oh, thank you for shaving.
Oh.
I have no disrespect for Europeans, but I just don't like facial hair.
That's fair.
I don't mind.
You trying to grow one?
No, if she had some facial hair, a little something right in the corner of her mouth, I wouldn't mind.
A little something.
A little something. Yeah, some like peach fuzzers.
That's
I don't
so
care.
progressive, bro. That's way more progressive than all these K-pop fans trying to cancel Joji and Brian.
I'm moral signaling the other lesbians that like their gals fully shaved. I'm just kidding. Now I'm canceled.
Virtue signaling over them.
Yeah.
Look at all these people who don't like facial hair.
Look at all these people that want their girlfriends to look
Excuse
like they're
me?
12.
Meanwhile, you're like point like.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just.
I'm sorry, okay? I just like smooth faces.
No,
I get ticklish easily.
That's a great way to do it. I just get ticklish, so.
You'll
You'll never hear that coming from my mouth ever again.
I have yet to meet a girl that gets as kinky as me. Anyway, please edit that out.
I was hoping to be like a long pause there. I'm gonna make it a long pause. Fuck it.
Moving on.
Just cuts off to an entirely different conversation. I had a nickname. It still is, but it's called Shaky Hands McGee.
Okay. Do you remember a time in your life when you were super offended about something? Where you were like, actually, like, this cannot go down.
Oh, I don't offended about what they said to me about me.
About
just about
anything about your group or about you personally. Because for me, it was like, I remember the first time I felt butthurt over a joke was watching Mind of Mencia.
Wait, say that title again.
Mind of Mencia.
Oh, I've never.
It was an old Comedy Central show. Hosted by Carlos Mencia, who used to be a well-known stand-up comic. And he made a joke about like those sappy like what do you call it, like Oscar bait movies where it's like super dramatic just for the sake of being dramatic.
Right.
And he's like, oh, what's next? The next movie's gonna be like about a lesbian Filipino soccer player with one leg or something. And I remember listening to that. I was younger, listening to that, and I was like,
yeah.
He made fun of Filipinos. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm gonna cancel Joe Coy when I'm older. Wait, what was the special or the comedian's name?
Carlos Mencia. No. Oh, don't worry. Joe Rogan canceled him.
Okay. Oh. Damn.
Because he was a joke thief.
Right,
oh,
okay.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Right.
Because he'd even steal, like, the way Joe Rogan talked. Because I remember when I first listened to Joe Rogan's stand-up,
right,
it sounded like Carlos Mencia to me. Because I saw Carlos Mencia first.
Before Joe?
Before Joe, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, hearing about the whole joke-stealing, like, drama that went down, it made sense to me. Like, oh, he took how Rogan talks and then, like, put his own spin on it.
But what's Joe Rogan's best friend's name? Chris something?
Well,
I think we saw
Chris D'Elia?
No.
Chris.
It was he had a comedy special. He had a Netflix special. A stand-up Netflix special.
Was his name Chris, or you don't know?
I think it was Chris. The first name was Chris, cause like he sounded just like how Joe Rogan talks, and some of the titles that.
Oh, you're thinking of the old guy.
Yeah, that guy.
He's got the show with Brendan Schaub and what's that show called? Fighter and the Kid. It's how do I not know this?
I don't know, man.
It's Brendan Schaub. Let's list all their friends. There's Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, Ari Shaffir,
Bill
Burr, Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, Chris D'Elia is part of that. Theo Von. What's the old guy's name? He was born in the Philippines. That guy. See, I know a lot about him. I just don't remember his name. No, he's a white dude.
Oh, he's a white guy.
He was born in the Philippines. How do I not know this?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna resist the urge to Google it because I remember a time when we didn't have that and we just had to sit with not knowing.
Dude, I had a conversation about that with my coworker back when I worked at that godforsaken burrito place.
Yep.
But I think at the time, like, I would. This was when like I was smoking like weed heavy, and there was this. I can't even remember like the answer to like I don't even remember it, but what?
Go ahead.
Oh, like I don't even remember what the conversation is. That's how like irrelevant it was.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just remember the feeling of getting super anxious of not knowing the answer, and like I couldn't find my phone, and I was like, dude, I can't Google this. And then like he just put his hand on my shoulder, and he was just like, dude, just chill.
Yeah. Because you know when you do remember it, it's gonna feel way better.
Yeah, and he was just like, sometimes not knowing is part of the adventure, man.
Yeah.
And
that's so true.
And I just looked at him, and I was just like, bro, you deserve to just shake my hand. Like, that was the best way to just get rid of my anxiety.
Yeah.
Just right then and there.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
And his name was Brian Callen. But yeah, Brian Callen is the comedian.
Brian Callen?
The old guy.
The old guy.
Oh,
so I was way off.
I remembered it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did it feel good?
It felt really good. That's why I was like, And then you're like, what? And I was like, keep going.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That was my light bulb moment.
That was your aha moment. Yeah.
I see.
We went to Psych Anime, and Blake found a Haruhi cosplay. He was so happy, dude. Like, just the look on his face when he saw her just walking.
I was like, oh my god, it's a
it
Haruhi
was
cosplay.
So picture?
No, yeah. I do. I'll show you the
my
picture.
God.
It was like the
I wanted
cutest
to buy
thing.
That thing. You know, the brigade leader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one of
Armband.
those.
That's so cool.
Oh,
Man. That day at Psych Anime, I got like these cute little chibi figures of Haruhi, Yuki, and what's the Asahina?
Nagato. Oh,
What's her first name?
that's Yuki.
Miku?
Yeah. No,
Asahina?
Asahina.
Yeah. Asahina's her family name, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Yup. I had a frog onesie too.
Yeah. That was the same day Blake and I met Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, it was that iconic one. That was Blake?
Yeah, that was Blake.
Yep. Let me see that.
Yeah. No, but I was talking about, like, in a sense, how, like, I've always talked to Blake about you.
Oh, okay.
And I've always talked to Blake about her, about Cher. And, like, I feel like you guys just know each other through what I tell you guys.
Pretty much.
And, like, now that you finally meet, I'm just like, oh, it's so wholesome. I love it.
Sometimes even, like, just a few days ago, when she'll talk to me about you, she'll refer to you as my cousin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you mean Cher?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you know her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that too, actually. When I say my cousin, it just, a couple of my friends just immediately know it's you.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that for the first time I talked about you, and then I said my cousin, they asked which one. You have like 20.
It's true though. We have a lot.
The one I talk about the most.
Yeah. It's funny though, because Cher and I have the same dynamic as Issa and Lucy. In a sense where, like, in more ways than one, Issa and I are damn near the same person. And, like, Lucy and Cher are kind of the same person. And, like, they're basically us when we were younger.
I can see that.
Except they don't roleplay.
Yeah. I mean, they could.
Do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Why? How do you know? Have you been stalking me?
No.
I have a Dungeons and Dragons dice set that my coworker gave me.
Oh, me too. It's called Chessex Dice.
Yeah.
We tried playing a campaign, but
Someone needs
fell
to
off.
to make it. All my friends were like that into Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And going back to what we first discussed before, they were the type of friends who I literally have to gather all my energy to hang out with them.
Oh, yeah.
After hanging out with them, I'm just drained.
Yeah.
Just so energetic. Everything's going way too fast. I don't know what's happening.
Where your attention goes, energy flows, man. It's just not the vibe.
Sure. Have you ever taken a MBTI test, like a personality test.
Yes.
Do you
What'd you
remember
get?
what code you got?
INFP. I think that's what it was.
INFP?
I know I'm introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember if you were turbulent or assertive? Turbulent?
Turbulent.
The way you answer it's the very turbulent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assertive.
Turbulent, yeah.
I like that chest puff, dude.
Yeah, dude. I've been practicing.
I cannot be assertive to save my life.
No, it's assertive is just that you put strongly agree or disagree or strongly agree or strongly disagree, that you didn't do like somewhat disagree or somewhat agree.
It's
or
the way you answer. So like,
all?
yeah,
it's the way you answer. So if you have a lot of questions or you have a lot of answers where you put slightly agree or agree, then you'll be more turbulent. Whereas if you have more of the strongly agree or strongly disagree, you're more assertive.
yeah. In that kind of context.
Then I'm not sure then.
Oh, that's fine.
I think I might be turbulent though, because there are many times where I don't know if I strongly agree on it, so I just kind of go to the second option.
That's the hard about like personality tests is like you kind of got to know yourself to actually do it.
Yeah, like
to do it accurately.
Yeah, Blake and I have spent like a lot of nights like where we would just sit like and like we would answer the question like individually and like we would talk about them, and then like I think the most recent one that we took together, we kind of just answered it all together or like just take the question as it is, because like some people overthink the questions and some people just take the questions how it is.
Well, it's not about like people do it. Typically when you first start doing it, you do tend to overthink it.
Yeah,
because you're trying to be like, I want it to be accurate, so I want to make sure I understand it.
Right.
But like it takes a bit of like sentence deconstructing, like what are they actually asking about,
right,
to like answer it. So that's why like we do it multiple times over a long period of time to make sure that because the more you know yourself, the more accurately you can answer, and you can't really know yourself unless you pay attention to how you react to situations.
There's a certain self-awareness.
Yeah.
I feel like I know myself. I know myself to be indecisive and confusing. I know that my personality is a contradiction. It's contradictory.
What do you mean by that?
Like, for example, I say stuff like people shouldn't be on their phones all the time, and then I am on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, you are.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, sometimes I feel one thing, and then I feel another thing that's opposite. There's just kind of like that. Or if I say something like, I don't like people who are messy, when I say that, and then when people are messy, I say it's fine if you're messy.
Oh.
You know, that kind of thing. It's just kind of like confusing.
Yeah, like we were shopping at Safeway today, and there was this matcha powder that she wanted to buy because she was running low. And then she was like, should I get this? Maybe I shouldn't. And then she looked at me and she was like, I trust your judgment. Should I get this?
I like to think that I've lived my life for other people, to please other people. Without other people, I can't do anything.
Whoa.
That's how I've lived my life. That's how I've lived the moment. I just go with the flow. Yeah. Like, my mom told me to take this major in college, so I took that. And then she went. My mom's really indecisive. Then she goes something like, "Oh, anak ni pharmacist siya, pharmacist ka." And then I'm like, "But you just said computer science." And then I changed to like something else. It's just like most of my decisions are swayed.
You're a pleaser, like person pleaser.
Yeah. I can't handle rejection.
Yeah. I can't take advantage of her like that.
I feel like naturally I'm the opposite.
My heart physically cannot take that.
But like naturally, I feel like I'm the opposite of more like, you're gonna tell me to do something. I was gonna do it, but now I'm not gonna do it because you told me to.
I'm also like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why I'm contradictory.
Yeah.
I'm also like that. Like when my.
Well, you've got gradients, right? It's like it's a spectrum.
You're an onion.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Exactly.
I'm smelly.
No, you're Shrek.
Hey, I like onions.
I do too. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Shrek, continue.
But yeah, it's I do that too. I'm also petty.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking petty
Mm.
as a person. It's just kind of like, my girlfriend and I always get into arguments and she doesn't even know why. It's just kind of like, so when for example, like, this is just a hypothetical. I don't think it happened, but I want her to say thank you to me. Let's say I want her to say thank you to me, and then I get mad at her and I don't tell her why, and then she asks me, why are you mad? And then I explain, I wanted you to say thank you to me, and then she says thank you, and then I was like, and I say, now it doesn't matter. I wanted you to say thank you, not because I'm asking you. I want you to say thank you because you want to.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of too late.
As a dude, that's like another planet of like, I don't understand that at all.
You know, my girlfriend is exactly like a dude.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, see, I'm on her side, just like.
It's just like, I don't know why you're so mad.
I said what you wanted me to.
Right.
Yes, and that happens all the time, especially when she just says sorry, and she says, okay, sorry, and I'm just like, do you know why you're sorry? And then she goes, not really, and it's like, don't even apologize then, you don't know why.
Oh my
That's
god,
me.
dude.
But mad respect for her.
I feel that.
Mad respect for her. I love you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel that. It's good that you recognize it though, because like.
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying. I think I know who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that though. Like, I mean, granted, my very first like quote unquote relationship. Actually, I don't even think I've had like a real healthy adult relationship. So I can't really put my 2 cents into it. Cause like, I mean, I think the only one, like my only real adult relationship was with my ex from like 2 years ago. Was it? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And like, even then, at the time, it felt like this was what an adult relationship should be like, which is like just a constant back and forth of, well, you did this, and then just like her throwing all like the past mistakes that I've done into my face.
That's me.
That's not an adult.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the time, it felt like that's what an adult relationship to me would have been like. Cause the way I not to call you out.
No, it's okay.
But,
keep calling me out. I love it.
What a contradiction, dude.
I know.
No, but like the way I saw it, or like the way I thought of it, was that like this is she was the first person that like actually like went through like the whole courtship with, and then like met the parents and like met the siblings. Granted, she never met mine, but like I never like introduced her as like my girlfriend in front of my family.
But it was a proper relationship.
Yeah, but it was a proper relationship because I did meet her family, and like it almost got to the point where she almost met mine. Thank God she didn't. Oh my God. But anyway, so like to me that was kind of like an adult relationship where like I saw the aspects of her life and she saw the aspects of mine, but like compatibility wise we were not adults. Like we literally were not. I was a fucking child and she was a fucking child.
I mean, even at our age right now, our brain hasn't fully developed yet.
Yeah, I think it's like 27.
No,
They keep
25.
changing it. It used to be 24, then it was 25, and then...
You know what? Science.
Bro, yeah, honestly, literally, that information I got from was just like, oh, some person said it.
Yeah. Some dude I found on Twitter, he might be canceled.
It's like
now.
the flat earth argument where it's like,
yeah.
oh, this person who says they're a scientist said it. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to take it at face value.
Right.
Which is kind of like how the Egyptian priests would be. Like, all the corrupt priests back in the day was like, oh, the priest said it, it must be real.
Right.
Like, that's how we treat scientists now.
Yeah.
They have a degree. It
Yeah.
must be true.
They got letters.
They got letters. They know what math is.
They're totally not being paid by the government to say what the government wants to, what the people to think.
That's so funny.
No, but yeah, like to me that's how I define an adult relationship. But now looking back at it, I've never been in an adult relationship.
Wait, hold on. So what's your criteria for an adult relationship?
Just like
because it might be your standard might be kind of high.
No, I feel like it's just the communication part.
You've never been in a good open communication relationship.
Yeah, okay, that's actually a better way to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been in a good, healthy relationship. That's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And to me, a good, healthy relationship is an adult relationship.
Okay.
That, like, yeah.
Yeah, communication is really hard.
Ideally, yeah.
Ideally, yeah.
There's plenty of adults that are in a relationship that don't have that. That's what I'm saying.
But to me, an adult relationship is a healthy relationship.
Okay.
Like a healthy open communication relationship.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you haven't had that yet?
I haven't had that yet. I want it, but I don't have it. Well, I mean, I'm just chilling now. Whoever, bro, disclaimer to the listeners out there, whoever ends up with me will always have a drink in her hand and will always be full because I fucking love cooking. Anyway.
That's so misogynistic of you. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm moral signaling to the lazy asses out there.
And you get
virtue signaling, that's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah. See? I gotta keep using the words for me to learn.
Oh, but any ladies who's trying to hit her up, I can give you my number so I can give...
Matchmaker, please make me somebody to wife me up.
No, I'm chilling, dude.
That's saying that if you actually get a number from me, I might have just keep it.
Oh, dude, I don't care. I'm thriving by myself right now.
Alright. I'm not trying to cheat.
Shit.
Relax. Yeah, she's cool.
Sorry, Tala.
She's just ready for the worst case scenario.
I wonder who she gets that from. And also, that's how I know I'm unhealthy, bro. Mentally, I prepare for the worst case scenario, and it's my ultimate downfall.
You can prepare for it.
But it gets in my way.
If you keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, just live in the moment.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like following your gut is the one of the best ways where you won't regret your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you overthink it and then you end up thinking, oh, I made the wrong decisions, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
You know, but if you just go for it, you're just kind of like, you didn't think of the consequences in your head beforehand, so you didn't know if your decision was wrong or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's hard to, whenever you make a decision, it's like, sometimes you don't know what the pros of that decision would be until you've lived it.
Yeah.
So before I started working, I was just going to school and doing badly at it and just kind of leeching off my uncle.
Right.
And I remember my sister asking, because she works in HR, hey Blake, do you know anyone who's looking for a job? And that was it's like that moment in the visual novel, right? Where now you have two choices. You could either say, no, I don't, yes, I do, or I'm looking for a job. Right. Those are my three choices to say. And I gave it a good pause and thinking what does my gut tell me? And without even really believing it, I was like, I'm looking for a job. Right. And then she's like, really? Yeah. And then lo and behold, a few weeks later, I'm working and actually making my first good paycheck. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that I would benefit so much from doing that until a year and a half later.
Right.
Looking back, I know I'm self-sufficient. I can be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. I can get a paycheck coming in and I can survive on my own without relying on somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the time when I made a decision, that wasn't I wasn't pros and cons. Maybe I'll learn how to do that, or
right.
Yeah. I was just I need to answer my sister before she walks away, and I'm gonna say let's go for it. I pulled the trigger basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's probably one of the best decisions I made.
Yeah, those are really good, and it also ties up to if you make a pros and cons, you set up your expectations high.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you're more likely to get disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shout outs to my sister.
Yeah, dude. Even she's helping me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because she knows that you're a close friend and that.
Yeah, she loves me. Yeah. I do know why she loves me though, because I'm cool.
Sweats easily.
Facts.
You weren't always like that though.
No, I've always been like that.
Really?
People are sweaty.
She came out of the womb
No,
wet.
flexing.
I know.
Oh.
Wait, flexing?
Wait, what did you say that you easily flex?
No, wet.
Oh,
Sweat.
you easily sweat. Oh,
sweat
I thought you said
Sweat.
you easily
that
flex.
Too, she flexes randomly, even though she don't know. She shows me her thighs sometimes.
Yo, yeah, I do the same thing with Blake.
And I'm just are you flexing right now? She's like, I'm not trying to, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah, dude. There was this back when I was still when the gym was still open, and I was hitting maxes and personal bests over and over again. There would be times when whenever I go to LA, I would just flex my arm and I'd be like, Cher, touch my bicep.
No,
or touch this tricep.
I know because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people touch it, but you know
Yeah.
what? I wear long sleeves and you can't see my tattoo.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pretend like it's itchy right here and I just go up. But now it's just a habit.
Really?
Yeah, now I'm not even thinking. I just go like this randomly, even when I'm not itchy.
Yeah.
I noticed that. But it's cool though, because it's a cool
really?
tat. Yeah.
Today?
Earlier, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Now,
See?
now that you
It's a habit.
mentioned it, he's just like, he's gonna just keep track of it.
No, because I remember thinking like, oh, cool. I remember seeing a picture of you getting a tattoo from her,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but I didn't know what it was. And then I saw you do that, and I was like, oh, it's a fucking Sakura.
I'll flex for you right now.
What's that? Is that an origami?
It's an what is it? What do you think it is? Your answers are.
I feel like there's a lot.
Pink.
Wait, no, don't say the answer. Don't give him options.
I just
So-
gave him one option.
Well,
So
pick.
I didn't think it was a pig.
Okay.
I thought it's either a bunny or a donkey, but I don't think it would be a donkey, right?
Wait,
You're
what?
so-
would-
How do you see a donkey from this?
I mean,
It's a bunny.
It's a bunny.
It's a rabbit.
Okay, cool.
You know what it stands for?
Hmm.
Rabbits die when they're lonely.
Oh my god.
Yo,
That's why I put a cherry blossom next to it.
So,
you should get another bunny then. What the hell?
yeah, or a donkey.
Don't put that.
You should get like smaller bunnies around it, so it's like it's not wrong.
Then it just reminds me of wolf children.
Oh. Bro, shout out to.
Well, that concludes our interview with Cher, Maribel's cousin, and the second half of this two-parter podcast. So, join us next week for a conversation between me and Maribel about more personality psychology, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. God bless. Kamsahamnida. Namaste. Peace.